All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing,
Yeah,
Billy?
good. It feels like it doesn't feel like a Thursday. It feels more like a Wednesday, I guess,
I
because
think
of the
so
short
too. It's
week.
weird.
But penultimate work day of the week, so I like Thursday. Thursday's a good day.
Well, and big doings. The NFL kicks off tonight.
Yeah.
Exciting for many.
Well, if you have Prime, I guess, but if not, you're out of luck, right?
Is that right? It's on Prime tonight?
Is it? I don't know. Maybe it might be on NBC. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of what's on when, where.
It's a great point. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It could be on Prime, could be on Netflix for all I know.
Could be.
We could also talk about that since you brought it up. The NFL starts tonight. I did see that we had somebody buy into the New York Football Giants, 10%. Julia Koch of the Koch family. Here's Julia. Let me put her up real quick. You probably know her husband, David Koch. He's dead, right?
I think so. He was way older than her too. Jesus.
Both brothers are dead, right?
I think Charles is still alive, I believe.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that.
I don't know.
Here they are,
Maybe.
a couple of Palm Beach residents. So they bought 10% of the New York Football Giants at the cost of about $10 billion. Julia and her three kids had previously bought 15% stake in the Brooklyn Nets, along with the New York Liberty and part of the Barclays Center. That was another $6 billion. I don't want you worrying, though, because she is the richest woman in New York. She's worth between 74 and 81 billion dollars. She didn't invest in these teams to lose money, so I'm sure she'll be fine. On the plus side, the Maras are still going to have controlling interest of the team, which reminds me of the Rooneys and football's original roots, as opposed to, as we talked about 5 months ago, every team except for the Cincinnati Bengals is owned by a billionaire. And to your point, as you stated, to watch every football game this year, and I think I have this up here, it would cost you. I'll put this up. This is from last year, but the total this year is about $1,800 if you want to watch every game. So that's network TV, NFL ticket, YouTube, Peacock, NFL Plus, ESPN Plus, Netflix, Prime. Pretty expensive when it used to just be on two channels during the weekend.
Yeah, or three once that way back when ESPN had the Sunday night game.
That's right. But every ESPN was basic cable, so you were covered for the most part with cable.
Yeah, and I think if it was if it was your local team, you got it on your local affiliate. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I wonder. And by the way, the game is on NBC tonight.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I just wonder if is there going to be a tipping point? I mean, the economy stinks. You saw the job report today.
Bad.
And you could probably add one more person to that list, whoever put that report out, because I'm sure Trump's going to can them and turn that graph upside down. Greatest job growth ever. But yeah, I mean, it's just so expensive, and and on top of that, a lot of people just like to watch it because of their fantasy teams.
That's right.
And now they're going to add ads to Red Zone.
Well, and we have somebody that we know very near and dear who loves Red Zone. And yes, it's not about sitting and watching a full game. They want to know, hey, we're inside the red zone. What's happening? What are my fantasy numbers? Everything across the bottom's fantasy. Your wager on who's going to, have the first interception of the year. I mean, we can also mix in the gambling part of it. But to your point, yeah, it's a little bit crazy because now Red Zone, to capture every game, you're going to have full commercials. They used to do like a little interrupting one where the side would be like the ad, but you'd still be at the game. Yeah, no more. ESPN gets involved, and then everything falls into the crapper.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just insane, and you just wonder at what point do people either find other things to do, or do they just get really so upset that they're like, "Fuck it, I can't afford this. I'm going to spend my money elsewhere." So,
well, they're definitely pushing the envelope. I don't think that they necessarily billionaires are thinking that way, right? I mean, they just can't really relate to somebody having to choose between watching this or work my second job.
Or maybe just, buy a percentage of a team. I feel like shopping today. Maybe I'll just buy part of the Giants. Yeah, they definitely live in a different world.
So it'll take some time. As you stated, statistically, only 18% of U.S. individuals earn more than 100,000 a year. I think the average right now is about 62,000 for a full-time worker, which I'm not saying is chump change, but my 62,000 now I'm 2,000 lighter because I need to see every NFL game. If I'm paying my premium on healthcare, that's going to be a good chunk. Of course, my rent becomes involved. I do like to eat. We talked about this before. I will pass on the entertainment because I have this football package. That's all I really need.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. At some point, it feels like they're bound to overstep. And you've got a game tomorrow night too from Brazil.
Oh shoot, who's playing that?
Oh shit, I forget.
Anyway, you're gonna get your Thursday, your Friday, full day of Sunday into Sunday night, and then roll into Monday night football.
And Monday night, yeah. So and of course, that they're going to gun for that 18th game.
Oh, it has to be. Preseason's so weird though, because like in the Steelers, a lot of guys didn't play any of the games, not a single snap in preseason.
Yeah.
And I get guys getting hurt, but like, and sure, practice is practice. That only takes you so far with contact and such. But it's going to be weird to see Aaron Rodgers' first snap of the preseason never happened. So now we start opening day. This is it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Cincinnati for the past couple of years didn't play anybody in their preseason games, and they got off to terrible starts. So this year they reversed that, and they had their starters out there. So
look out.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, I can see both sides of it. You definitely do not want to see your starters go down in a meaningless game.
For sure.
But and Pittsburgh runs a pretty physical training camp anyway. They do a lot of live hitting. So I don't know. Maybe that'll help them out a little bit more. But you've got a lot of new guys on offense, and you're going to be running a lot of different things with a loaded tight ends room.
For sure. And Chiefs and Chargers tomorrow, just to.
Yeah, that's right. Chiefs and Chargers.
But go ahead.
And you've got a new quarterback who is a veteran, so I mean, I'm not too worried about him. But again, this is a guy who's 42 years old, and game speed is always different. Even if you played in the preseason, it's a whole different ball game once you get into the regular season. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It will be, and these guys are professionals and all, but I don't know. I think some guys like to get the rust banged off them. Some guys like to just be hitting people, especially defenders. So we'll see. But I'm a fan, so we'll see how it goes. But to your point, yeah, I'm not going to spend $1,800 to see every game. I remember the Chiefs playoff game 2 years ago against Miami was on Hulu, I think.
Peacock, I think.
Peacock, yes. I didn't have it, and what was I going to do? Get a subscription for that game?
Terrible. No, we watched it with Gene. I think Gene had it. And the quality wasn't great. It froze. It was not that good.
Yeah, almost like Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Or Prime is also terrible for me. I'm going to put this up just because you mentioned the job market and people getting fired. The numbers that came out today, we added 1,494 jobs, but we did have 85,879 layoffs. To your point, it might be 85,880.
Yeah.
Whoever came out with these numbers, Trump is not going to like it. These are the worst August job numbers since 2009. We'll go back and say, what was 2009 financial crisis?
Mm-hmm.
But like you always say, this is kind of self-imposed. We're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah.
This is also the first time we've had more unemployed Americans than jobs available for them. This is something that levels we've saw during the last 3 recessions. So you have 6.2 million people looking for work. The job market's pretty weak, and that's the highest we've had in 4 years. So when you talk about like the billionaires, and maybe I'll buy some of a football team today, that's great. But the reality is, we're sinking fast. Timber prices have never been lower. Without timber, you're not building. We're seeing it across the board. The work, you can be laid off, you can be furloughed, however you want to call it. If there's no work for you, you're not working, and somebody's not paying you. So we're getting into a really weird area here.
A really weird area. And then, when you're laid off, you lose your employer-sponsored healthcare.
Sure.
So then you're scrambling. You're either going to have to pay for it out of your own pocket, which if you have, kids, if your sibling is not employed either, that's going to be a huge expense. Or you can go the Medicaid route. But again, they're looking to cut that. And they're going to add a work requirement onto that. So it's like this, it's like a circular firing squad. Basically, it's a clusterfuck. You're aggravating problems by adding more problems. And it's just, if you wanted to destroy a country single-handedly, this is exactly how you would do it.
Project 2025 seems to be working. I visualize that when you say that as the firing squad with all the billionaires in the middle pointing outward and just ripping people down because they just really don't care. We got to get the numbers down anyway. We don't have enough resources on this planet, period. We're looking at the moon. We're looking at Mars. And I guess Putin, along with Xi and Trump, don't think they're ever going to die. So they're just going to keep pumping on. I don't know where that reality comes from, but I guess when you're three of the most powerful people in the world, you can think whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so. You can think whatever you want, but eventually you're going to die.
Father Time.
Everybody who's ever lived in history has died. So, yeah, I don't know. You can think about it. You can hire the best biohackers in the world, but eventually you're going to die.
It happens to the best of us.
Just wish it would happen to some of these people sooner.
Just to finish on the numbers, 500,000 people. There's 500,000 more people selling homes than buying homes right now. It's the largest imbalance we've ever seen in this country. Farmers that, we talked about John Deere laying off, their sales are slumping. Now farmers are suing Trump because they want to get back Biden's grants. They'd like to get them reinstated, all the things that Trump reneged on that Biden had in his. It wasn't even big and beautiful. It was just an infrastructure package that took care of everybody.
Yeah. I mean, are they missing Biden yet?
Well, now they are because they're taking it to court. That same instance, farmers in Arkansas are begging for a bailout now. Last year, rice prices for them were 40% higher than they are now. There are subsidies in the big, beautiful bill, but they don't start till next year. So you're looking at 12 to 18 months. A lot of these people will be out of business. And that's where JD comes in and scoops up the farms. But again, you play the harp strings on the family farms and so important to us and all this other stuff. Great. It's in the bill. I'm sure it's 18 months from now, which is a little late for the subsidies to kick in. And then much like overtime, no tax on overtime, it lasts for a year and goes away. Whereas these big giant tax cuts for the uber wealthy last forever.
Permanent. Yeah. Permanent. I mean, it's crazy. Biden wasn't perfect, that administration. He made some mistakes. He stayed too long. But it was the guy that gave a shit. I mean, a lot of these policies made sense. It was forward-looking and progressive. Again, not perfect, but there were some really good policies. And it's really interesting because, Trump is going to go back to the Supreme Court again after his tariffs had been ruled illegal. But, when Biden canceled the student loans, the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that.
Overreach.
But they only play that card on the Democratic presidents. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm not really optimistic. But these guys have a huge hand in destroying this country.
For sure. And now they're recognizing that, where John Roberts is saying, it's really stretching the rubber band on democracy.
Well, what the fuck, man? You helped him stretch it. How do you even... that blows my mind. You're supposed to be an intelligent person. You're the head of the Supreme Court. You're the Chief Justice. And how can you be so fucking stupid to be like, maybe I shouldn't have given him executive powers? Boy, could that have been a mistake?
Me and 5 other justices that thought it was a great idea. Comey Barrett.
Yeah. You've never even been a judge before. That's like, I've flown on an airplane. Now I'm going to be a pilot.
Start
It's
with
just
flight attendant.
insane. Dude, some days you just look at the shit that's going on and it's like, this country is out of control. This is
Everybody's
fucking
noticing
nuts.
it, except the people within the borders aren't quite catching on. Yes, Trump is going to go back to the Supreme Court to try and overturn the trade tariff ruling. While he's there, he also wants them to look at the Jean Carroll ruling against him for being a sexual abuser. No words for that. You just can't go to the Supreme Court just because you put all these people on it and then, get the rulings you want when you feel like it.
Dude, he thinks they're on his payroll. He really thinks that they work for him. And
And
they've
maybe they
let him
do.
have that impression. Way to go, John Roberts and company.
And maybe they do. You might be absolutely right. The last thing I'm going to say on that is, well, it's just in my notes, but the Justice Department is weighing plans to ban trans identifying Americans from buying guns. They'll be in the category of mentally ill. Wow.
But white nationalists can buy as many as they want.
At any age, no ID necessary.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's all I can say to that. That's insane. That's the most batshit fucking insane thing I've ever heard.
Well, you know who's at the head of that? It's Pam Bondi.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. That whole thing, and I'm only going to tie it in with Kristi Noem because with Homeland Security, she went down to Argentina. We talked about this. She rode horses. She had a great time. They were going to do this waiver on visas for the people coming from Argentina, because we really like their ponies and everything about them, where I can ride, and the freedom is so great down there. Well, the meeting that was for these Argentinians, she didn't show up. They canceled the meeting. So when these people came, they were ushered out because, no deal. I'm sorry. We're dragging our feet. Little Rubio wasn't sold on it completely. So the people that think they had a deal, that hosted her and showed her a good time, are now being shown the exit.
Wow.
It's like they just don't really care about people, understand people.
Well, they don't even care about doing their job. She really thinks she was hired to, play dress up and have photo ops and travel the world on our dime. These are, said it before, we'll keep saying it. These are not serious people.
Well, and they just go after the weirdest stuff. The Biden administration, or the Trump administration, canceled the Biden era rule where airlines would have to compensate passengers for flight disruption. You could go to the counter 8 months ago and get paid, literally, either on your credit card or whatever payment method you use. They had to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
That was really necessary because they were leaving people on planes for way too long. You don't get food service. That's not a thing. So there's really no
Yeah, we found that out.
Then all of a sudden, everybody's got to use the toilet at the same time. We've sat on the plane. It gets hot. It gets a little bit irritating. And again, once the airline pushes away from the gate, now we've started our flight. Even though you're sitting on the tarmac for another 40 minutes, we can keep our online schedule, and then we're not going to compensate you. I know you missed your connection, but
that's your problem.
We left the gate. That's really on you.
Yeah, that's insane.
So we'll see. But again, it's like they're not looking out for us at all in that respect.
It's more corporate welfare.
Pretty awful. I'm going to come back to Kristi Noem and ICE because I want to talk about a facility that they're housing people in, which isn't super. But I do want to jump to, where is this guy? Yeah, Mr. I'm surprised. Super surprised guy. Oh, there he is. Obviously, Florida is anti-vaccination. The Florida Surgeon General, Joseph Ladapo, let me get Ladapo up here, came out yesterday. They're the first state to do this, but he equated vaccinations to mandatory vaccinations to slavery. We'll get to that a little bit later, but they don't believe that K through 12 public or private schools, unless there's a religious or a medical exemption, which was how you got away from getting vaccinated. But they don't think these people need to be vaccinated now. Measles, mumps, rubella, which we always talk about, MMR, seems proven, has been working for decades. There's certainly plenty of research behind it.
Yeah.
Polio, tetanus, Hep B. I mean, the list goes on. They don't want you to have any of it. And I just don't understand how that becomes a positive in this guy's eye. Like, how does that work? How are we making America healthy again when we're putting so many people at risk? And it's not just the kids. The kids go to school and then kill the grandparents type
Yeah. And there's a lot of grandparents in Florida.
and just old people in general.
So yeah, I don't know, because it's anti-woke. It owns the libs, but dude, Florida's an international destination, or at least it used to be, right? So you've got people coming from all over the world. So if somebody shows up with mumps, measles, rubella, polio, who the fuck knows, smallpox, maybe, you know, coughs on you at Disney World, or you know, maybe bumps into you at the grocery store, you know, by the condo where they're staying. That's how shit gets started. This is just such a horrible idea. It's so fucking stupid.
And it is extremely contagious, a lot of the things that we're talking about. CDC points out that childhood vaccines have saved more than 4 million lives every year worldwide. You need 93% to get herd immunity. They always talk about that. Oh, let them get sick. They used to have chickenpox parties. Oh, come on over. Get everybody sick, and then we'll be immune to it. 93% of people have to be vaccinated to get herd immunity, essentially. Measles in Texas, which blew up in the last 4 months, they're at 82%. So they're not even close to being at that level of herd immunity. It's not going to get better. I saw a statistic today on CNN where they looked at the numbers in 1991. I believe it was 81% of people were for vaccinations in this country. Seems reasonable. I mean, you're always going to have some people that are naysayers or just not very confident in it. 81% in 1991. Last year, the same thing, and this is supporting vaccination in children, maybe not seniors and their shingles, but supporting vaccination for kids. Last year, it's at 51%.
Wow.
Half of us don't even believe in vaccinating children.
That's crazy.
I don't know if that comes with lack of education, anti-wokeness, indifference for others.
Misinformation.
But
I saw it on Facebook. It's got to be true.
Crazy statistic. And as we talk about that, COVID's kind of ramping up. We're at that time of year. Kids that go back to school, they're in the classroom. We're spreading it. Kids don't wash their hands, etc. Actively infected in Hawaii, 1 in 21. South Carolina, 1 in 17 people are actively infected with COVID currently. Texas, 1 in 19. Louisiana, 1 in 20. Alabama, 1 in 24. DC, 1 in 26. Utah, 1 in 15. Nevada, 1 in 18. And California, 1 out of every 103 people is actively infected with COVID. You may not feel very badly, but you're shedding virus for others.
Yeah.
We saw today RFK Jr. had his big meeting on Capitol Hill. He was grilled by both sides of the aisle because
even a couple of Republicans pushed back. In fact, the guy from Louisiana was really pissed. Cassidy's like, you promised me that you were not going to cut funding for vaccinations. And, you know, RFK just got mad back and lied about it. It's just, these
and
are
then
the worst
called
people.
everybody liars.
Called everybody liars. Oh, those doctors and medical experts, they're all liars.
Exactly. The 3 people that he trusts are not liars, but everybody else is, whether it's the Academy of Pediatrics, whether it's the American Medical Association, bunch of liars. Okay.
Bunch of liars.
And then he pushes to the fact that you guys are all taking PAC money from pharmaceuticals. All of them are across the board, left side, right side. It's coming in. They asked him, did you not receive that money when you were running for president those 10 days? No real answer to that. But
yeah.
It's the system, there's no doubt. But again, he's just an extreme nut, frankly, is my
He really is. I mean, you know, the Kennedy family has basically disowned him. He's a disgrace.
Pretty terrible person, and that's not going to change. One thing I did want to say about Florida is you had the Surgeon General Latipo said, you have no right to tell they have no right to tell you what you can put in your body or what your child should be putting in his body. And he doesn't have the right either. And then the whole place erupted in applause. And all I could think about was the bodily autonomy of females.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you can't do this to me, but we can do it for women. I mean, there's one set of laws for men in every state that doesn't change. But for women, every state has something different that requires something of them. Makes no sense. It doesn't seem equal.
Yeah, I guess if you're a man, you can put whatever you want to into a woman's body, but God forbid you should plant something there and she doesn't want it. Too bad. That's just
Even by force or even by fill in the blank.
uh-huh. Yeah, it's insane. It really is. It's so
Doesn't
it's so
correlate.
hypocritical and just batshit crazy. These people are they're off the fucking rails.
Well, and it's so extreme too. I mean, they want to work to end every single vaccine mandate, every single one. None of them are good.
Well, and they don't want you to get any vaccines, even if you want it.
Well, and that was the big question today that they were asking him.
Who are you to tell me?
Well, and just you don't have access. So he says, I'm not stopping anybody from going to the pharmacy and getting the booster. There is a bit of a difference between the booster and the vaccine to get the original, but he's saying that he's not restricting it. But when he doesn't have it recommended by the CDC, the insurance companies do not have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Now you're taking your free shot through Medicaid or Medicare, and it's not free. And you're not going to be able to get it. Maybe you have to go get your doctor copay for a visit for him to say, yeah, you should get that shot. And then it'll be available. But now you can't just walk into a pharmacy and get the shot if you want to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That doesn't sound very like America to me.
Well, it sounds like this new version of America, making America healthy again.
That is the slogan. That's catchy. Very
yeah. Ma ha 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 ha. That's funny.
Good one, ma ha 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 ha.
Fucking clown show.
It's a clown show. These guys are just out of control, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, I don't know if this was clickbait, but our governor's trying to get Missouri's minimum wage to even less than what it is. I mean, I have no words for that. I mean, 7.25 seems pretty light, and we're still paying taxes on that stuff. So
yeah,
I just don't know. I don't know who's going to push back. I don't know how many people it's going to take to be laid off to get this pushback, but it's pretty ugly, and
it's extremely ugly.
And to that point, we're just doing whatever we feel like. I got to put this up because it's this was yesterday during the Epstein victims having their say on Capitol Hill. Trump thought he'd do a flyby, which cost a lot of money.
What is that?
That is the Venezuelan boat.
Oh,
you can see it on the left, and then on the right you can see they really blew that thing up. Oh my goodness! 11 terrorists from a Venezuelan gang were on that boat.
How do you know that? It was probably 11 people out fishing.
Well, they really can't get their story straight. Rubio said one thing, Trump said another, JD said another, Hegseth said another. They just talked about this was 11 terrorists bringing in a lot of drugs. Let me put the boat up again, because there were some sites that measured the people, size of the people, the size of the boat, and how much space would be on that. Drug smugglers don't generally bring 11 people. I could use that space for drugs. Why would I bring all these people with me? The boat, as small as it is, to think that it's going to go from Venezuela to the U.S., that's 1,500 miles. They don't have enough fuel to be able to make that trip. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe if you threw a couple people overboard, that's a possibility. But again, this is like the international community is wondering about the laws. Lethal force against civilians or in international waters is a war crime if it's not self-defense. This isn't self-defense. This is a show. This is a show they like to put on. Look at this tiny boat, bunch of drugs on there, drug dealers that were part of this gang in Venezuela. I mean, how gullible are we that we're going to believe that? And something else. I mean, normally in a normal situation, if that was what they claimed, we have enough military of 6 or 7 boats over there, plus a submarine, I believe. You board the boat, you take the people, you do, you give them, they have some legal protection, especially in international waters. There's due process. They didn't do any of that. They just dropped a bomb on them, which was a lot more expensive than the boat itself.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, so you just murdered 11 people at taxpayer expense because you don't want your name out there with the Epstein list.
Yes.
Basically, that's
Yes.
kind of what it comes down to, another distraction. I
That's
mean,
right.
this is,
And they claim they have the authority to sink any vessel that they deem is tied to drug trafficking. And what we have to do is take their word for it. And that's something that we can't do. That's not something that Americans ever do. I'm not taking your word for it.
no,
Show me something.
Jesus
Show me
Christ.
some proof.
Anybody who takes Trump's word for anything is a fucking sucker.
And
As
and as
contractors
you,
he's stiffed, lawyers he's stiffed. I mean, there's a whole long
Contractors.
line of people that can attest to that.
and yeah, and you said about they were on Capitol Hill yesterday. We need 4 Republicans in order to release this list. Trump said that any Republicans that vote to release the Epstein list would be treated as if they were being hostile to the regime. So far, we have 4 people that were willing, Republicans, to join this list. We need 4 more. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them.
It's the right thing to do. What's he going to do? He's going to primary you. He's going to send you to bed without dinner. Do the right thing.
Agreed.
This guy, you're a public servant, first of all. It's not about advancing your career. It's not about padding your stats, so to speak. Do the right thing. This is insane. We're talking about pedophiles. We're talking about a pedophile ring. Epstein was a horrible person. Him and Trump are closely linked. Of course, Trump's going to try and keep all that information from coming out. But here's the thing. Do the right fucking thing.
And to your point, I'm going to bring up this visual because I think we all saw Nancy Mace when she left the meeting. She was part of the oversight committee that met with these people prior. She looked really shaken. Really, I mean, I can't even imagine what she heard. I think we kind of have a general idea. But here she is leaving that first meeting before this was 2 days ago, visibly upset, very concerned with the information that she had heard. I bring this up because this is how it rolls with this regime. Today, she's fully supportive of Donald Trump.
Of course.
Doesn't see any reason to put this out there. And, she'd been talked to, apparently. We're looking for 4 more people in Congress on the GOP side to say, yes, we want to see the list. We support these victims. It's going to be interesting because we just don't have that right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and people aren't buying it. I mean, if you are so innocent and you've got nothing to hide, release it.
Couldn't agree more. Why aren't you?
Yeah, people want to know, and it's a legit question. Why?
And on
What are you
both
hiding?
sides, they say, if Clinton's part of it, Clinton's part of it. Like,
Yeah.
Anybody that's part of it and you have information, let's do it. The victims did come out and say that between all of them, they can make their own list. And if that's the course they have to go, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they deserve to have this out there. These people have been through hell.
Yeah, their lives have been ruined. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, look at Nancy Mace. She's a mess.
She is, but she's moved on pretty quickly.
Yeah, something's destroyed her soul, and yeah, that's just. Of course, she made it all about her anyway.
That's what I said when she left, and they were all worried about her. I was like, it's really not about her. It's about the victims. Let's not make it about her. But now it's not about the victims either, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you really cared, you would step up and do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, she's obviously a terrible person.
Yeah, clearly that's not going to happen.
But instead, we're going to go the other route. We're going to start taking more people and putting them in these are old photos of the Angola State Farm. The Angola prison in Louisiana is notorious for its dark history of abuse, repression. outmatches anything in U.S. history. There's 51. There's 51 people ready for deportation there now. They'd like to get that number up to 400. In fact, they gave one of the buildings a catchy stage name. They painted on it Camp 47 for Trumpy Bear. The history here is not wonderful.
Well, it was built on a plantation.
Yeah, the history of it is, you're right. It was the Angola plantation in the 1850s. They had 700 slaves that worked dawn to dark. Then it was owned basically by wealthy slave traders and cotton planters. So after the Civil War, they turned it into a state prison, and it was run by Confederate officers. I mean, what could go wrong there?
Seriously.
So what they did was the majority of the black people were subleased. I mean, we've all seen Shawshank. You know, oh, here's some money in with that pie. I hope I get that contract.
Yeah.
So the majority of black inmates were subleased to replace the slaves because, you know, we need people to build the roads and we need people to pick the cotton and all that stuff. Whereas the white people that were there, they became clerks, or we called them craftsmen. They weren't working. And you can see today, I mean, you still have correctional officers on horseback. You still have them with a mindful eye for what these folks are doing, probably up to no good. And it's just, it doesn't speak well for us. And the reason I bring that up is because not only are we getting off on putting these people into horrible prisons and such, but we're building on that. Indiana is going to open up the Speedway Slammer. That's pretty cool.
Catchy.
Not to be outdone by Nebraska with their Cornhusker Clink.
Jesus.
I mean, there's more to come, is all I'm saying. And
sadly,
this is just not a direction that I think most of us would want to go in.
but it's a new revenue stream for, you know, the private prison industry.
Yeah.
Locking up anybody and everybody and making cash.
And it makes labor cheaper. You know, if I can pay you like half of what minimum wage is, I'm making more.
Yeah. And, you know, we're going to cut corners. We're only going to feed you once on the weekends.
You know what? You'll appreciate it. Your lateral movement will be so much better come Monday morning. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's horrific.
And these guys are like just all in. You know, Governor Landry, how he's the governor of Louisiana. They're going to put up a thing. It's instead of 47, it's going to be number 57 on it because he's the 57th governor of Louisiana or some stupid shit. But all these guys want some recognition for what they're giving away, their soul, essentially. And it's just terrible. It's just terrible. It's not a sustainable direction that we can go in. And while that goes on, you have North Korea and China and Russia just plotting. I saw their military parade. Ours looked ridiculous. Not that any of us wanted that stupid parade, but the soldiers themselves weren't all that into it. Trump wanted more oomph, and he was mad about it. But literally, these, you know, the Chinese, you know, those guys are in lockstep. They're doing their little march. They look like they're ready, and we look like. I think the comment was that, you know, we think everything's flowers and roses and gumdrops. Meanwhile, they're thinking of ways that, hey, we could probably use that territory over there. These dum-dums aren't paying attention to anything. Being told how great everything is, how wonderful you are, how smart you are, how healthy you are. And we're actually none of that right now.
No, we're a fucking mess. We are a shit show. And it didn't take that long. That's the crazy part.
No, 8 months. It's like insane. Happened so fast.
It really did. It's horrifying.
It is. I'm going to move on to another thing that I wanted to bring up, which was Camp Pendleton. You know, we always are doing our research and learning new things. Camp Pendleton is the largest undeveloped portion of California coastline, Southern California coastline, between beaches, bluffs, mesas, canyons, mountains, and it's Southern California's only free-flowing river. Don't tell Trump that. With more than 1,000 species of plants, fish, and animals. It's 40 miles from San Diego.
Hmm.
It's been there for 60 plus years. They have 125,000 active or 125,000 acre facility with 70,000 Marines and civilians using the base daily. It's like people that work at the airport. It's weird to people traveling through, but that's your job. 38,000 families are on this property. So the decision now is we're back to the Golden Dome project to keep us all safe, just like the Iron Dome, except our country's giant. Israel is not. And we
Another
probably aren't
grift.
likely to stop the kind of missiles that would be coming here anyway. So you're just wishful thinking. I'm just going to sit under this dome and everything's great. Once again, being somewhat lied to. But you need to raise money for this project. So their idea is to take Camp Pendleton and see about doing some commercial leasing. We could maximize value and taxpayer dollars while maintaining the mission of readiness and security. I mean, that sounds like something right out of Hegseth's mouth.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It's just insane. It's ridiculous. First of all, the technology that doesn't even exist for this thing yet.
They have an architect already on board, but go ahead.
And I'm sure he's among the best and the brightest. It's probably it's probably Don Jr. Well, we're going to build a giant dome and have an even bigger crane, and it's going to cover the whole country. It's going to be great, right, Dad?
In Canada, but they're not going to pay for it.
Yeah,
This missile-based defense system was talked about under Reagan. It was the Star Wars.
Didn't work.
It wasn't ever going to work, and they eventually.
The Star Wars defense. It didn't work.
And they eventually stopped shoveling money into it. Just some numbers on that. Trump thinks it'll be fully operational by 2029, which to me is mind-blowing to begin with.
Not going to happen.
The big beautiful bill had $25 billion set aside for this project. They put the total, the White House did, at about $175 billion. Experts would disagree and think it could be as high as $500 billion, so $542 billion. That's about $400 billion more than they're allocating for. It's just another grift, so to speak.
Just another grift. Jag. It's insane. I mean, and the fact is there's people that actually are buying into this. Oh, we need that. We really need that. Yeah, no. First of all, the one in Israel isn't foolproof. It works okay.
It works pretty good, but it's just a different type of missile that's coming in. These are like Scuds compared to like.
Well, and here's the thing. A few months ago when Iran lobbed some rockets at Israel, they were not sending their most lethal ones. They were just kind of sending a message. They weren't looking to do a whole lot of damage. So, I mean, none of this makes any sense. It's just like you said, it's just a giant grift. It's a huge waste. I mean,
it's just another giant grift, and it's just more money that we don't find a need to account for.
Yeah, well, we'll take that out of the social safety net. People don't need health care. People don't need, any kind of unemployment insurance. People don't need any of that. We're just going to put it all towards, this big, beautiful defense system, the Golden Dome.
That's where it's going, but that's really just going into somebody's pocket. It'll never.
Yeah, it's just a big golden tower, which Trump knows a little bit about that, but Jesus Christ.
It's just not going to be a thing, and I think we all know that. It's like it's similar. I compare it to like the whole AI thing, which my feelings on that. But just as an example, Meta's building a data center in Wyoming that'll use more electricity than every home in the state of Wyoming combined. And when I look at the energy secretary today, and he's talking about electricity and how we need more electricity because we have to fuel the AI to get the answers that we need to make more electricity. But it takes so much electricity. I mean, it's like you guys are chasing your tail in a circle.
Yeah, well, electricity, water. And, you keep pumping up AI, eventually it's going to figure out, what? These people are fucking insane. I'm smarter than they are, and therefore I don't need them.
Yeah, well, you're probably right about that.
It's just a matter of time.
I just don't like that they want research on vaccinations. They want all this data and everything else. But with this, we're just going to go with it because it sounds good. It works into the Bitcoin part a bit. The data, these facilities, which we saw even in our own area of redness, people don't want it. They don't want all the resources being sucked out for these data centers. But the powers that be are all in.
Oh yeah, because there's money to be made.
There
For
is.
them.
There is, but when are we going to see that? And it's just like with Chinese goods. I mean, they're doing it better than we are. They're light years ahead of us. Though Trump tells us we're the leader in it, we're the best.
Oh
We're
yeah.
amazing. The reality is people aren't going to be coming for our product because it just doesn't compare to what's out there from other nations. And we're finding that with everything. Soybeans, steaks, fill in the blank. They don't
Oh,
need us.
that Chinese electronic vehicle. Are you kidding me? That thing
Real
looked
nice.
amazing for a good price.
That van had a porta potty in it. That was amazing. Gosh, don't get me started.
Seriously.
And again, we're no giant fans of China, but like I'm a giant fan of making sense, common sense, and not being a fool. I feel like we're being led into a bad place here, but
Well, we're in a we've been led into a bad place.
I
And it's
wouldn't
getting
disagree.
worse.
And you think it couldn't get worse, and then it can.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll move on from that. But I do feel like that's something to keep an eye on as we continue to drain our funds for some fantasy, including the Golden Dome. It's got to be golden with this guy. Can't be anything but that.
Jesus Christ. Seriously. I can't wait to read that obituary.
All right, so we're going to go to the happy ending now. I've got 47 minutes of enraging you, so it's time to get to the happy place.
All right, let's go. Take me to the happy place.
All right, I'm sure everybody knows this gentleman,
Oh yeah.
John Candy. I saw the preview and had me a little verklempt. Just seeing this is going to be on Prime. It's directed by Colin Hanks. It's produced by Ryan Reynolds, and it's called "I Like Me." My wife likes me. Okay.
Sure, I could be a cynic like you. I love that movie.
Yeah, the great John Candy. So pretty amazing. The guy that couldn't say no to anybody. Funniest guy in the room. Extremely talented. Died at 43 years of age. They, much like in Stripes, when he said that he eats a lot of his. What did he say about his weight loss
I
program?
smell a lot of aggression along with a lot of pizzas.
Yeah, good one. So they said, he was constantly under stress. When they filmed, I think it was in Wyoming, Canadian bacon, but they had no beer. So he went to the place to find beer. And I guess you'd go into his trailer and the tub or room, and the tub was just full of beer. He liked things in excess, mainly beer and smoking. And he burned hot. There's no doubt, but he was an amazing person. I think his family history was the same, where his father died of a heart attack young. Yeah, just amazing. I mean, he had so many different roles. The whole SCTV thing was just stellar. And part of this production, which I only saw the preview, but you had people from Steve Martin to Martin Short to fill in the blank. Anybody that worked with him.
Eugene Levy
was
Catherine
on there.
O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, just I'm looking forward to it. I think it's at the Toronto International Film Festival starting now, and then it'll be on Prime. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. The trailer looked really good, and yeah, he was truly a special person.
For sure.
And it was sad. He definitely carried some pain.
And now he left us young. You look at all the roles from Uncle Buck to Stripes to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Del Griffin.
It just, that's the legacy he left behind. And it was just stellar. I don't know. I can't say enough about that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge fan. So that'll be something to check out. And as always, I just wanted to add a bucko minute here for the Pirates, who have taken 2 games so far from the defending world champion Dodgers. They're since July 1st, the Pirates are 27-27. The Dodgers are 25-29. And the new manager, once the Pirates made the change, since he took over, is 51-51.
Wow.
It kind of makes you wonder why they didn't maybe make a move a little bit earlier. I mean,
because ownership is indifferent and the front office is a joke. The GM is completely incompetent.
yes.
His 5-year plan has failed, and now they actually stumbled onto a really strong pitching rotation. And this guy doesn't know how to find hitters.
No.
So, with a couple of decent bats, you could be in contention for a wild card. And if you hadn't had such incompetent managing on the field from the get-go this season, I mean, veteran players were saying in spring training that Derek Shelton was checked out. And they may have finished around 500 last year, but that guy made so many bad decisions at the tail end of the season. He cost them games, literally.
His bullpen use was terrible, and then he kind of picked up where that left off.
And his lineup use, sitting guys that didn't want to sit, guys that were actually on a hot streak, he's sitting them down for who even knows why.
I mean, McCutchen wasn't playing regularly, and that was like offensive. Bottom line, why that he was your best hitter, and why he wasn't playing. It's just
so why you even brought Shelton back to start this season? Maybe if you make the change in spring training, or you make the change even at the end of last season, because the guy they have now, Don Kelly, Mount Lebanon guy, the players like him. They play hard for him. I mean, there was every reason for these guys to roll up the carpet in June.
For sure.
So I don't know. It's kind of frustrating because ownership is so indifferent. Bob Nutting is a complete boob when it comes to this. He doesn't care. And his GM, Charrington, is just a joke.
He is. And he's had more than enough opportunity. And I guess I feel like Shelton was like, why am I coming back? Right? Why? Why am I still here? And I get that part of it. He shouldn't be. So it'd be really hard to gain these guys' respect that have seen you crap down your leg, so to speak. So he was in a tough spot, but that's why you have a general manager. That's why you have a president of a club. That's why you have ownership. So that
Shea agrees.
Yeah. So it's not up to the manager to make that call. One last point I will say.
Shea would have made that call. Shea would have fired that guy.
She's up in arms.
She is.
Their home record is pretty amazing. I want to say they're 18 games over 500 at home.
Yeah, that's crazy. But again, I mean, they've got a really good pitching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the best pitcher in the game with
pitching tonight. Skeens, he'll be out there tonight. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, Skeens more than likely will win the Cy Young Award.
He'll have a losing record.
His numbers are incredible. And to that point, I was going to say he's now 9-9.
Oh, nice.
Took a while to get there because he got no run support. They lost a bunch of games where they just didn't even score a single run for the guy, and he's still at 9-9. I mean, he's pretty incredible. And they have a great young staff that needs some help with hitting. So
yeah, I mean their hitting percentages are terrible, but
horrible.
It'd be nice to see them finish the season strong, kind of like they did in '87 when you had like a young Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla, and those guys were all coming up, and they were struggling through another crappy season, and then they started winning. They caught fire at the end of the season. They went on I think they went 27-9 or something to finish the season, and guys started buying in. They started believing, and you had a nice run there.
I would like to see the strong ending to this season as well, but you still need to fire the GM.
Oh my God, yeah. That's the only thing I really worry about is, if you finish strong, if ownership is like, well, no need to make any changes, but yes, make changes. They're winning in spite of this guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the players, man. It's not him. So, So I guess we'll see. But go Buccos tonight. Let's see if they can get the sweep with the Dodgers, which would be pretty impressive.
That'd be nice.
I think on Tuesday I said they were playing in LA. They are in Pittsburgh. So at least the home crowd gets to see the Skeener come out and do his thing. So, looking forward to it. Anyway, well, football tonight, so focus. We'll check the Pirates as well, but appreciate your time today. We're at the 55-minute mark, so I think we did pretty good.
Nice. Good job. Well done.
Excellent. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch up a little bit later for some football.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
All right, see ya.